Welcome back once again to day 2 of Game Changers Championship 2024 and our second match of the day. It is going to be G2 Gozen versus Visa Crew Blaze. I'm your host Yungsu and I'm here with one of the best analysts in the game. She's turning up time and time again. The person that is never wrong here on the couch is Kukuka and Tom.
Twice in a day.
I mean, it's good, you know. I think it's still a downgrade from World Champion Potter, but, you know, I'm very happy to be here. Finally, we get...
Sorry, I won't be here for the next game, so you're good.
And nor would I. We can cry together.
Yeah, it's just going to be me for the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you guys want to expand your friend circle, because, you know, we're old friends. We're all friends here on the couch. It is a perfect time to join the community for GCC. Scan the QR code on your screen and join the LFG Discord. And if you want to join the Valorant server as well, which is exclusively for women and non-binary gamers, we've got a QR code for that too. You got plenty of options. Yeah. You guys scanning the QR code? Get in there.
I can scan one of them.
Yep. I think I can get it. Oh, never mind.
Oh, you have enough friends already, Tom. You don't need.
Yeah, I've got loads of friends.
You don't
I think
need
you have
more
at
friends.
least 6.
Oh, no, minimum. The bare minimum. But let's get into our next matchup and talk about G2 Gozen. I am so excited for this, of course. They are the 2022 champs, and Kukuka returning to the stage with a different roster and potentially becoming the first two-timer.
Yeah, exactly. And this year has been already different for them, right? We always saw them qualifying on points, and this time around, they managed to win all 3 of the stages back in EMEA. So we expect a great performance, and I think everybody has their eyes on what G2 Gozen is going to be able to do this tournament.
Yeah, and I think the meaning of that is, you always look at that Mimi and Petra duo. You always look at those two as like, if they are on a team, it doesn't matter who they pick up, you go, oh, there's something there. Like, I know this team is going to be good. It doesn't matter if the stats are against it. It doesn't matter if you even go, I've seen this person play on 2 other teams, it wasn't that good. If they are in that team, you go, okay, they're going to get to champs, and maybe they'll win it.
And this is the thing, they've had, you know, different players coming in and out of this roster over the years, and these two have always gotten the best out of their teammates. You know, they're still consistent, their teammates are looking great as well, and they must be the longest standing duo we have in the game. They've just been here for so long.
I think I tweeted it the other day. I think I've been casting at least Mimi for 8 years.
Oof!
8 years.
Damn,
like,
Tom, you're old.
I'm old. She's a lot younger than me, but even still, she's been playing this game since what? Like probably the same age Mary was when she started playing. They are a duo that have been around for an incredibly long time. They used to be against each other, but now have been a duo, yeah, it must be like 6 years plus.
But it was like meant to be. Also, you see their friendship on social media all the time. We get to see it on stage, and it's that kind of synergy that we love. And also, they learned a lot and they've evolved a lot. They both went through the process of becoming IGLs of this team, making it grow in different scenarios. And that is, there's always a new frontier for G2 Gozen, and that's what keeps bringing them here.
And they've won a lot as well. This graphic, it shows how many events they've won, but it doesn't show you how many out of, you know. 8, it might sound like, oh yeah, 8 is a lot, but it's like 8 out of 10. There's only like 1 or 2 they haven't won, which is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And for them right now, coming back here where they got their first GCC, well, the first and one trophy for Game Changers, especially with that happened last year, not even making it into that top 2. Yeah, I mean, top 3 is still very good. But when you're G2 Gozen, you expect to make it to the final. You expect to be the 2-timer. And probably, you know, they have the chance to change that fate this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think that there's only 2 teams most people are talking about in this brawl. The other one is playing up next, but realistically, G2 are not going to be happy with second place.
This is the thing, though. Even all the other players, you heard it there from Jelly. Who do you want to play against? G2. You know, they all want a shot at G2 for a reason. And our featured matchup today is going to be between ResQ and Dots. What a head-to-head that is going to be. And earlier, Victoria had a chance to catch up with both of them.
Hello, Victoria here. I'm with ResQ and Dodds. Now, I'm going to start with you first, ResQ. When we interviewed you a couple of times, the first time in EMEA, at your full power, you said you were about 70%. Then later in Istanbul, you said you were 90%. So where are we at now?
I think there is no percentage of how good you can become. You just get better and better every time. And it's all about how much you can give your all to the team.
All right, because better and better, more than 90%. We're getting close to 100 now. Now, have you seen Dodds play yet? And how do you think you're going to match up against Dodds at whatever percentage you are now?
Yeah, I saw her play yesterday. She was pretty good. And I'm just looking for a good match. Let's all have fun.
All right. Now, Dodds, you are a fresh face here in Game Changers, and we're here for good vibes in this competition, but it's still a competition. So between the two of you, who's the better duelist?
Entonces, Dodds, eres como una cara nueva acá en la competencia. Todo es buena vibra y todo así, pero de todas maneras es una competición. ¿Cómo te ves en este matchup contra Rescue?
Honestamente, eu não assisti muito bem os times das outras regiões jogarem, então não tenho muito como falar, mas eu tô bem confiante em mim mesmo e eu acho que, pra mim, eu sou a melhor.
Honestly, I didn't see many teams from other regions playing, but I trust a lot in myself, so I believe I'm better.
Oh, wait. Do you have a response to that, Rescue?
I mean, we're only going to find out who's better at the stage.
Oh, well, I cannot wait to find out. Thank you so much, ladies. Back to you guys.
Going to be a crazy matchup between these two players. We've seen Dodds already, so let's talk about Rescue, because when Rescue first joined this team, there were some question marks. There were some, opinions about whether she can level up and be good enough to be part of G2 Gozen, and I think all of those questions have been answered this year.
Yeah, and it's not only about the attitude that we just saw in the interview. She feels very comfortable in her own skin, and I think it goes back to something that you were mentioning, Sue. Most of the players, if not all of the players that join this G2 roster, get exponentially better. There is not a better area, a better environment to grow up as a player than in an environment like this.
Yeah, I think either they create the best environment of every team, or they have the best scouting of anyone ever. It's like, oh, I'm playing a ranked game. She looks pretty good at the game. And I've sort of brought up these stats from previous teams, because I will say, okay, at times Rescue was playing Initiator, I think even a bit of Sentinel here and there, but the stats are truly ridiculous. Like, you're talking about a player going from 158 CS to 190-ish to 292, and also that means that G2 looked at that player playing Initiator with below 200 ACS and went, that's our star duelist. It's like, what?
You're forgetting about something. It's just a Turkish powerhouse.
I was going to say,
come on,
she's
everybody.
Turkish.
There's a lot of Turkish players with better stats than that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you're G2 Gozen, you can take it. And also, I feel like, especially if they trialed her and they saw that kind of attitude, that kind of recklessness.
Very G2
alpha.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
This is like,
G2.
we can work with this.
Yeah, super G2. And this is the thing. We talk about, a Turkish talent. I mean, they yoinked Vania already. They were like, we take Vania from here. We see something in Rescue. We're going to build her up to be the best duelist in EMEA. But I want to ask you guys, because obviously Rescue is going to say she's better than Dodds. Dodds is going to have confidence in herself. Who is better in this matchup? Who do you guys think will be able to come out on top?
The thing is, I think G2 pound for pound are better across the board. I think the head-to-head of them two is going to be really interesting. I think it could be close, but I don't think it will matter. I think G2 will win.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that happening. We see the confidence, and of course, they have a very good record. They feel very comfortable in their own skin, and especially when they're playing this kind of officials. This is the kind of team that is always like, please, can we have lands? We just want to see our opponents on the other side of the stage, and their support system can be better. But actually, if we think about yesterday and the way that the Visa Place was playing, Dodds was the star in so many of the rounds that they were getting. Not only like getting the 4Ks, the way that she was entering the sides, even though G2 Gozen can set up Rescue for amazing plays, I feel like Dodds can be the kind of player that, even if she isolates herself, she is comfortable in taking those kind of risk plays.
Make a difference, she's going to definitely make a difference. But we're talking about G2. I feel like this is the test. This is the how good are you really? And are we going to see numbers like this from her against G2?
I mean, it's going to be complicated, right? Also, we need to wait to see what the maps are going to be like. But if she's able to have the same performance as she was yesterday, even if they lose, she could be very happy with her performance overall.
Yeah, I think it's one of those scenarios exactly that. It's like, maybe Dodds can have those numbers, but are they sacrificing too much to do that? That's my only worry, because I know, like, Vania is self-sufficient. Like, you don't need someone else being like, oh, Vania, here's a flash, here's a bit. She's going to get 250 ACS minimum every single game. So then when you have that, plus Rescue, plus Amy, who best Sentinel in EMEA, like, you kind of start to run out of places where, okay, can we match everyone else? Even if you match Rescue, you probably still don't win.
It's like being the fourth best player on G2 is like the best player in EMEA.
Yeah, it's
you're
the definitely
layers,
top
right?
10 minimum.
But it's the layers, as I was saying on that bind, where we're seeing the replays right now, and even if you take down one of the G2 players, the next one is going to be just as good. So the challenge doesn't get any easier.
Yeah, let's talk about Vania for a second, because
Yes.
some people will be familiar, you know, the fans that have seen her at Champs also last year will know what Vania can do, but for the ones that haven't seen Vania on G2, describe it to me. What can they expect?
If you think that Rescue in that interview was a badass, you have not seen Vania. Like, her attitude on stage, her aura is completely different. She took BBL and elevated it to a different stage. Her confidence in the calls that she was making back then, and when you see her on stage, off the stage, when she's playing online, there was also not a better fit for her for this year.
She is genuinely someone I feel like you could, like, she's very nice, but you could fit out of game. Like, it's someone who is like, you know that she is set on a goal, and that is victory in every single game. And I think that was one of the players that, well, just look at what G2 Gozen did. They went, okay, this player can beat us. We are having that player in our team, and now there is no one who's even come close.
True. And also, we have to remember that she was an IGL. You know, we talked about Mitch yesterday has some strong words about the IGLs that aren't, you know, as ebbed in the fragging department. No, we can't do that.
I love all IGLs.
Good. Me too. Not biased. But Vania, she was the IGL, and they brought her over onto G2 to not IGL. So it's kind of like you freed her from that responsibility to be even better.
Yeah, but even if you freed her of that responsibility, you know that her calls are going always to be on point. And if you have to have her as a strongholder, as we're going to see in many of these instances, you can be 100% confident that she doesn't need any kind of micromanagement. Even, I feel like even from day one, the work that they had to put on to make her a better player, let's say, has to be minimum. So it's already, you know, you can focus and on something else, and maybe that's why Rescue has such a good year.
Yeah, well, she has fantastic support util as well, and you know that a lot of it is reactionary. Like, it's not someone going, okay, 3, 2, what? No, it's just her going, okay, that's the timing I need to do this, and it's there every single time. So there was a case of, you're looking at Rescue and Vania as players. Rescue was brought in as someone who you're going to elevate to a better level. Vania was brought in to elevate them to a better level, because she was
already there.
She is the perfect package. She was the best player in EMEA before she joined the team. She still is.
I actually agree. I agree. The crazy thing is, you know, we talk about the players that have always been at GC Champs. They've made it every single year. We got some of them on the side of KRU and G2 as well. But Kakuka, how have they just dodged each other this whole time?
It is crazy, right? 4 out of the 6 players, as we were talking about yesterday, that have been in every Game Changers Championship are here in this matchup. But as you're saying, this is the first time that we're getting a G2 Gozen versus KRU. It's very... it's weird to say that
it's been a long time coming. Yeah,
it's been a long time coming. Vania has that experience because she did play against KRU last year, but that is all. I feel like there is going to be a lot of like information, and probably they have some prags that played against each other, but nothing on officials. This is going to be a first timer.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those matchups that experience will definitely shine through for players like Dodds, who maybe hasn't played against players this level. That just having people who have will definitely help in an experience gap. But I also think yesterday, at least from what I saw from players like Romy, she was insane. Like, the Sheriff players, I've already put her as the best, but I am a little bit nervous about that, as she will be going up against Amy, who's also very good with the Sheriff. But I think that this team in general showed that they can weather some of the storm, they can pull out some explosive rounds, and I do think they'll need it today.
Here's the thing, that we talk about leveling up. We talk about how Rescue, you know, warmed up into this to the player that she is today. And it feels like for Romy and Connette, they've been warming up for 3 years, trying to get further and further every single time they come back here. And Tom, they finally won an opening game. They weren't able to do that before. So how much have they leveled up, and can they go further than this?
It's very difficult because you look at the opening games that they had before, and I think they were tougher. Like, I think Zeta definitely came in as one of the weakest teams in this tournament. They got blitzed in their own region in the final, and then came into that match, and they had their moments. Don't get me wrong, I think they're very well structured, but in terms of firepower, I think they are right near the bottom of the table. G2 are not in that same regard. So for me, this is the opening match. Like, this is where I go, okay, are Visa Crew Blaze going to be a team that can compete, or are they going to be, okay, maybe they can get like a top 4, maybe they can squeeze in at the this tournament and improve, but not jump like maybe an MIBR who are going to come in as a first tournament and probably be competitive.
it's a good start. And also, if we think about the other two results that they had on the previous years, the first one was against Cloud9. That is now, with Mel and Alexis.
Yeah.
Do not get mistaken about what that team was. And the other one was BBL, where Vania was. I want this to be a turning point for them. I want them to have that confidence of, we can do this also in a 2-0 fashion in your opening game. Let's try and get some momentum going off of that. Yes, your next opponent, first seed of EMEA, but again, you're here to be the best, and for that, you have to pick the best.
I mean, we've seen it right before, where the team that has a bit of a warm-up, they get a chance, they can actually get going a little bit faster. G2, they haven't played on this stage yet, so maybe they need a little bit of time.
They live down the road.
To warm up as well, but technically not. Well, the last time they played on specifically this stage, I guess, was, from Chance. I'm just trying to let me cope, even though I voted for G2.
Where does Mimi live? Sorry, just wondering.
I actually do know where she lives.
I do know where she lives.
In Berlin.
She lives in, do you know what? She lives in the same building as Durka. So like the aura in that building.
Too much information.
The
Too much
fragging
information.
potential you get
And the address
in that building.
is? No, I'm good.
No.
Tom, that's weird.
Durka.
That's weird, Tom. That is weird.
We're twins. I need to know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually,
If you're twins and you don't know?
You won't tell me.
I'm
kidding.
I've never seen you and Sassy in the same room either, to be fair. So
We have a picture of me, him, and Sideshow at an event.
But I feel like the other ongoing conversation is the map changes, right? You've seen some teams, they are straight in there capitalizing on Pearl, on Split. What does this mean for G2?
So for G2, there's the two sides of the coin, right? Oh, loving this graphic. Very good timing. So it's good to see that Pearl specifically is back, is Split as well. And on the other side, thinking about the maps that are gone, they love the Lotus with the Deadlock. We've seen so much of them, and they love to pick the map. On the other side, for Icebox, is not a map that they've been very comfortable in, and they've been banning a lot. So you have the two sides of, yes, we would have loved to keep playing the Lotus, but if we're losing Icebox, I think everybody's happy with that change.
I like Icebox, yeah.
I wonder why.
I do, yeah.
No, I think that, in all honesty, for the G2 side, it is sort of much of a muchness. Like, you always expect them to be good at whatever map is in the pool. Like, you kind of look at them and go, okay, this team is going to have probably 6 maps every single time if there's one they don't want to play, which is probably Ascent. When probably not going to see that in this pool at all either, because I don't think KRU will want to play it. So I think that this matchup actually comes out quite nicely for them, and they've always been very good at developing new maps, and with Leader at the helm, I've been super impressed even with just his dynamic pauses. Like, whenever he took pauses in their matches, they were always highly impactful. I think they will be incredibly well prepped no matter what.
Here's the question though, very quickly. If we do see the Pearl, we want a Reyna? We want a Yoru? Do we want to run it back Giuliano style?
I mean, if we see the Pearl, for Giuliano has to happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
We like that.
Hey, Petra's played a Reyna in the past. You never know.
There we go.
The thing is, they are favorites in this one, that they may just opt to try and boom their opponent.
Well, we'll see in just a moment. Here it is. Let's send it down to the stage and bring out our teams. Here's G2 Gozen and Visa KRU Blaze. Everybody wants to go up against G2 Gozen for a reason. KRU, they were great yesterday. I can't wait to see what they're going to do today against this team.
Yeah, exactly. And let's jump straight into the map. Veto, KRU banning the Split again, and G2's gonna ban Bind, a map that they've picked so many times and feel comfortable, probably as a result of the changes that they saw from KRU yesterday with the Neon and the Yoru not wanting to face, or probably thinking about their opponents later in the tournament.
Yeah, if we go back to comps played by either of these teams, we're looking like we're getting mirror matchups for at least the first couple of this. So if we get there, that's going to be interesting. That is a map that not only that hasn't been played recently, hasn't been played at all by Visa Crew Blaze. So that will be completely new. And honestly, I don't mind it. Like, you're coming up against the top opposition, pull out a surprise. The only thing is you do have to get there first.
And speaking about surprises, all these 3 maps, and it's nothing like we saw yesterday, right? The 2 maps that Crew played yesterday were different, so it could be an unknown territory.
Yeah.
We saw some of the changes, but the changes could be on both of their sides. And the plan for G2 is always immaculate.
Yeah, and I do like the kind of the veto dodging, leaving Ascent to the second round of bans as well. There's a lot of mind games going on, but do you think it could be a good thing for Crew to play maps they didn't play yesterday? Because G2, you know, if they were doing some recon, maybe it wouldn't be able to come into play today.
I mean, thinking about the recon, and also G2 Gozen has decided to start on the defense here, because both of the teams rely a lot on that utility that, Tom, you were mentioning for the side of Vania, on the retakes time after time. So probably that's what they decided to start on the defense, just to water a bit, and especially if there's a change in the composition, for you to have time to read how Visa Crew Blaze was coming into the match.
Yeah, we've got a Neon head-to-head and a Michaela head-to-head as well. I'm super excited to see those sort of like breaches up against each other.
Isn't Mimi's handle Mimi Michaela?
It's her name. But that's going to be an exciting one, because I feel like the setup's going to be super important for Rescue and Dodds. I think Dodds needs to be flying on this attack side.
And again, Tom, something that you also mentioned, the head-to-head between Amy and Romy, especially on that C side, has been so important in this tournament.
And of course, both teams, they haven't lost a series in a long, long time. One of the win streaks will be coming to an end, and it's time to throw this over to your casters. It's the GOAT's Pots and Pans.
Yeah, that name is getting some traction out here. I appreciate it. Thank you for sticking
I like
to
the
brand.
Panther.
Panther's pretty solid.
Panther's good.
It's pretty, look, we got some workshopping to do, but we have an incredible game, right? You look at this, G2 are always going to be deemed as one of those heavy hitters, right? Some of the legends in just gaming in general in that squad, they are terrifying. Crew, though, are no slouches. They looked deadly yesterday. They could certainly do damage. What about you, Christine? Where's your mind going looking at this matchup?
I'm so excited, Lauren. It's got to be, I'm just shadowing exactly what you said. G2, they've had such an easy road over in EU. This should be a great challenge. I got to shadow what Tom said as well. We're looking straight at Dodds on this attack side. She's got to have an explosive start. And with Michaela in her back pocket, the pocket breach to just allow her to get whatever space she wants. Looking at this set piece, this opening pistol for Crew side here.
So all eyes turn on Dodds. Incredible performance before, but look at that paranoia's timing. Instantly going to stop the progress. Burns a little bit. The util has to going a little bit trickier, but beautiful from Dodds. Great footwork to take down Mimi, but it's not without at least a casualty on the other side. Michaela has fallen. So now it's not, you know, completely safe, but they've secured a portion of this B side. But they could still pivot through towards A.
Yeah, the great read coming through here from the IGL on the Crew side of things. Found the gap and quickly gonna make their way towards this A side, and Dodds is on the move. She has not slowed down here, Lauren. That's gonna give the side of Crew a lot of information. They should be able to set up in these posts. Not a lot of utility, though, to stop this retake coming through.
Yeah, I'm eyeing up Petra, who's got the dart there. We still have Rescue with a fair bit of util. 2 smokes with Vania. On the other side, it is starting to look a little bit lighter on the util, right? They burn a lot, they're getting towards B. Buccaneer waiting, it's Dodds. It's all of them. Line him up, G2, looking a little late to the party here. And Petra, last to fall before she does. That's the perfect start for Crew. Again, the ability to mid-round out of that B, just to pivot their ideas over towards A, and it was just open for the taking.
Yeah, and it was that pause, right? As soon as they got that quick trade with Dodds, breaking the ankles to just open things up at that front B. But that pause, where they collected themselves, talked to each other, and stuck together in a group. On pistol round, it's so important for teams to do that. So Crew are rewarded, and they're able to get that round on the board. This should be a clean anti-eco for Crew. You can see that they're grouped here towards this C. Probably just want to collect this orb, keep things nice and clean. And for the side of G2, they've gone for a gamble stack. All 5 members trying to see if they can wipe anybody out. But look at this, Crew. They want to go sniffing a little bit deeper. That dart's going to reveal a lot here. Just an empty site.
And kind of taking into account how this has begun, they've got to be feeling good about these reads, their mid-rounding. There's a lot of really good indicators early here for Visa Crew Blaze. They've got to be so happy about this. And for G2, I mean, it was a gamble stack, right? You're just hoping for the best. You've made an educated guess. It didn't work out this time, but maybe they could cause a little bit of damage. But you're seeing the info for Romy here. This is fantastic. Spots no one going up towards long, so everyone can focus that nice little crossfire towards Garage. But that's assuming the G2 even go for it. They might just sit and wait for that spike to go off and try and deny as many ult orbs as possible.
Yeah, there's not too many surprises here with the mirror comps coming through. That's worth though. Vania finds one with the classic. G2, they just want to die to this spike. They don't want to give any of those ult orbs away. Crew already collected that orb early to start, so nice and clean. This is textbook round for G2.
Done. This is all good. These are ticks in the box because I get worried when I see a game with G2 Gozen in it. There's a lot of kind of that overdog aspect. They are very hard to handle at land. They get better at lands. They don't get those jitters. But to see Visa Crew Blaze already come out, look very stable, good decision making, very quick calling on this. It looks like it's all indicating that we're going to have a good game here.
That quick calling better come into action here on this bonus. You can see it's looking really similar to their pistol round.
Damn, like look at the buy that they have here.
Good weaponry. That rifle on Dod's hands is going to mean a lot. Quickly trying to get this mid control once again.
Standing ahead.
Nice start lineup and a flash combo as well.
Yeah, set into motion, instantly going to take over that garage space. Broken some of the util that Amy put down earlier. So again, this is just a nice indicator early, super early. And it's going to keep Amy's eyes completely locked in towards garage. You can see them trying to check back towards long, noting the player. It's starting to feel like maybe a C split as they've got Dodds dedicated towards garage, but maybe going to lose track of that to an extent, wondering, are they still there? Did they fall away? What's happened to this? Now, contact towards long is really throwing off the picture here. Visa Crew Blaze now having attention across the map. I like the re-exploration from Rescue. Maybe just trying to hold down towards sewers is keeping some info going, but it still looks like Visa Crew Blaze are heading towards that C side.
Petra should not have gone down there. Vania finding a nice equalizer. Rescue has a lot of information. She knows that the breach is lurking around. The spike, it's stuck towards long C. Cubby though, Amy, she's all alone.
But where's the rest of the team? Biazi, I thought they'd try and gap close on that with that crunch through from CT, but now the timing's a little offset here. Romy and Biazi have to try and work this one up here. Amy on that deeper off angle, gonna make it very difficult to safely enter towards the site. As Romy now feels like a formality. G2 not falling for that push and pull across the map. I like the start from Visa Crew Blaze, but they lost out on that, I guess, site take at the end.
They did, and G2 are really counting their lucky stars there. I mean, you saw the drone coming in from Biazik. It totally pushed Dodds off that deep line, and so rather Rescue, putting Petra in a pickle, but able to convert a 4v5 man deficit. So huge defense coming here for G2, and it all came down to that crossfire, right? Between Mimi and Amy, just holding down the fort. This time, Crew, they're starting their luck towards this A main. They want this A lobby control and a great set piece for Dodds.
This is getting so scary though for Dodds. Does she get any sort of assistance? Not really. The stun. They're being really held back here. They are willing to brawl, but at some point they have to break away. They can't keep fighting out on long here. Petra probably a little aware of that last round as well. Doesn't want to overdo her hand. And a double stack towards Garage. It seems that they're aware that it looks like Visa Crew Blaze are trying to insert these players as best they can. Not getting their way towards long though.
Oh, close for Romy. And that double stack, you're right. Romy, she's not careful. She's in for a world of hurt.
This late ball down. The angle not good. That was rough. Rescue does the best she could. Gonna find two, but it is answered back. So I guess at the end of the day, they're gonna be able to go towards that A site if they want to, with Near on the carpet rolled out, right? It looks a little bit comfortable. Mimi is here, but I like this
huge
proactive
information.
Work.
Yeah, that camera's just gonna catch the flank coming through. Mimi's all on her lonesome though. The dart doesn't ping.
Okay, but the paranoia is still there. Still so diligent. That's wild that got sent in.
Yeah, I can't believe they blinded when that dart didn't ping, but Crew getting the read. This is going to be a really tough 2v3. At least Vania, though, has the blind in her back pocket. If Amy can use this cage, isolate one of the angles, and they just 2v1 one of these fights.
Okay, it's go time, right? Opted to paranoia over towards Graffiti, outdoing it, and now down to the 1v1. Romy against Amy, and it is the Cypher diff for Amy. G2 getting close at the end there, getting right down to the wire, but they tip the scales over, and they do get the defuse, tying this series up to a piece.
Yeah, and just working with scraps as well. G2 impressive 2v3 retake to make that one work. And Vania's been a token of topic of discussion all year long. But my goodness, just in the nick of time, finding that audible, sending that blind towards that graffiti. Beautiful moves for G2. And look at the money now, KRU. They've stabilized. Rather, G2 have stabilized.
Seeing the outlaw. I'm seeing the outlaw and I get scared because that is a whole lot of light shields on the other side. Does Rescue get to farm now? That could be ult locked in. That could be wonderful. But do they even decide to go towards that C side of the map?
Yeah, Spike is on the back of Rescue here. You can tell they want to really just get the Spike down on this front B side. Maybe bait out some sort of ultimate. There's the blind.
But I'm looking at this push on C long. This is lovely Rescue. It's so dangerous though. You know, it feels like a one and done, but maybe she could do more. Paranoia does not connect, but Rescue does. And now suddenly that C side doesn't feel comfortable. You don't have the security of long. You don't have CT safe. They only have the site and garage. And keep in mind what they're working with. Sheriffs, Guardians, Buckies. It ain't pretty. And G2 want that site back. KRU gets swept away. And they're going to try and do some damage if they can, but that push down C-Long was just heaven sent. Romy, it's a formality as Petra shuts it out.
Wow, the crossfires, the perimeter, everything being secured here for G2. All the crossfires holding strong and the utility as well. What a response coming out here for G2. And it all was off the back of that quick move from KRU, right? Dodds really tried to bait out all that attention towards that front B. They pivoted quickly towards Garage, and they did have success before getting into that C site, but the anchor and Amy just stepping up huge here. And once again, KRU, they want to stabilize and get this A main control, make Petra really uncomfortable, maybe burn out her drone a lot earlier in the round, make her use her dart so they're lacking the info. Only Petra. She does have that Cypher utility to help her out here, though.
Yeah, but the site is feeling so smothered here. You can already see it. Look at the util. The Petra stayed alive until then. Dodds clears it. Maybe pinged out, not sure, but it looked like just that paranoia stopped any sort of work forward for Petra. But I want to talk about the security of the site, and it looks good. Smokes are in play. No one's going to make a quick play off this. Mimi's still got a bit of utility and a long time for that stun to come back up, though.
Look at Rescue setting up in that heaven. She wants to flood out of this spawn. They want to have a quick retake here off the back of Neon.
It's go time. We're looking at it. How much can Rescue do? Not enough. It's Amy trying to follow it up, but the trades go back and forth, but it's Mimi left in a 1v3. Cleared up. Visa, KRU, Blaze secure that post plant very well.
Very, very well. Much cleaner than the last one. Ping-ponging off of each other's aggro really well, and that is hard to handle when you've got a Neon flying out of heaven off the back of their util. So well played here for KRU to convert their attack post. And the money is not in the best shape, but KRU, that conversion is going to mean a lot for the momentum going into this 8th round. Dodds with that Neon ult in her back pocket. Cool thing about Neon on this map is once you get going, you run out of that gas, you can pop that ultimate in that mid round and just double down on that speed. So we'll see what Dodds does with that ult.
But just like looking at this, you've got the 4-play stack towards A, right? G2 doing that as well with the operator over on that side, and then just leaving an incredibly passive Amy on the other side. This looks purely made for a retake, right?
Yeah,
if they go A, if they're not coming A, we're just going to sit back. They can take this light and we'll just play retakes and we'll have to try and play off the back. They've got some nice ults for it too, so I guess they could work towards that.
For sure, for sure. They're definitely confident in their retake protocols. Petra with that Huntress Fury. Rescue has that up, but we already mentioned the fingers in her back pocket. I'm sure that as soon as Petra procs that Huntress Fury, it's game time.
Yeah, this really gets a little bit dangerous. Oh, I love this proactive ult spawn, trying to get in their face. Dodds only gets one, though. Rescue goes down, that does remove their ult, but they've got to get a move on now. Petra gonna find Romy, and now suddenly it's the 3 players on the side. Visa KRU plays getting really squeezed here. Biazika is gonna be falling back towards the side, but it's Michaela keeping them secure. But Petra again, she's not letting them lose these rounds. She is the final boss. They're not getting past.
Yeah, going to pick up and collect that operator to put back in the hands of Rescue, and you can see exactly why G2 were okay, fully trusting Amy to hold down the fort in that 4-1 setup, but Their retake protocol is coming out strong here. And not only have we seen them win a 2v3 retake, but we've seen them win that 4v4 at A, and now a full-on 5v5 retake towards C. Good news for KRU, though, is they don't have those big ults in that Hunter's Fury to activate them in that flood. So for KRU, with that Rolling Thunder in the back pocket of Michaela, this post plant should be a little bit easier if they're able to get the spike down in this 8th round.
Yeah, but I'm still looking at Rescue with that operator now on the angle. Tag, no frag dodge, still standing, and Petra gonna take her down. Rescue gets out of there. That's huge damage again, blunting the tip of the spear that VSeKRU Blaze would have loved to use to get towards these sites. Denies so many options now. So they have to reset from this, and you already look at it, Konir as well, taking a big bit of damage there too.
Michaela's trying to decide whether she wants to use this ult to get into the site or potentially use it in the post. Romi's gonna go sniffing towards front B, hopefully draw out one of these defenders from A, create a gap for themselves.
Trying to be tricky, but I'm waiting to see if anyone takes the bait, right? Does anyone actually rotate off this?
So disciplined.
Sitting a little bit deeper, but no one has to overreact. It's Mimi who's going to get first contact here, really. If they try and just contact up, it's not going to be good enough. No, absolutely not. Mimi so clean with it. And now Konir left on an island. Very little support on the way. Tricky predicament as Rescue was already in that deep off angle, sat down by Quad. Quick follow-up from via Zika. This is too controlled. They have too much of a read, it feels like. G2 Gozen. I mean, there's a reason they're the overdogs here, Christine, and we're seeing it clear as day.
Yeah, and it's down to that perimeter once again, right? This is 3 rounds in a row for G2 now where they're hardly breaking a sweat, trusting in each other, holding the line, and just maintaining that crossfire. For KRU, they weren't able to find the picks that they were able to find in their 3-round wins. Dodds needs to be able to have a more successful opening to be able to get an advantage, whatever advantage they can.
And going for the timeout here, VSeKRU Blaze deciding to pump the brakes, and why not? You got to try and min-max what you've got here. But I think something that really stood out to me was the fact that they were trying to be so tricky to try and pull those rotations away from that A site in just that last round. And you saw Petra barely move a muscle. Full faith in Vania on that B side. Yeah, maybe if Vania feels the pressure, she can pull the rotate over. But they weren't falling for any of it. It's that discipline that G2 has that is really hard to shake.
Yes.
Because again, you'd at least noticed 2 players utility pushing towards that B site. Most teams would have reacted in some way. G2 are just like, they're not even going B, guys.
Years, Lauren. Years of experience on the side of G2, and that's coming through strong here for sure. But it does take a lot of reps to build that kind of trust so that you're not overzealous and not trusting that the other side of the map is going to be maintained. So really, that discipline, it's a beautiful thing to see.
Because I think we roll our minds back to the Zeta game. Again, that was a masterclass from VSeKRU Blaze, and I think it'd be very easy for people to not maybe appreciate how good they are. We saw Dodds being a superstar in her own right, but there is that next level up, that next layer up, and I think they're hitting a bit of a ceiling here, but we wait and see. A good timeout can make a world of difference.
And hopefully it does this round. Petra, weak side, solo, 1-3-1 coming out here for G2, and look at the ultimates coming out here for KRU. They've still got the Rolling Thunder in their back pocket, and I think this OMEN ult will allow Michaela to know whether she's going to want to use it to get into the site or whether they can use it for this post.
It's 1-3-1. Again, you've got so much faith in your players, right? For Amy, for Petra, the Aldrone's going to be a big indicator. Petra instantly going to fall back, probably because of the ult, right? You're sitting safe for it, you're going to let them burn all of this util up, because they have to. They still have to go through protocol lists to take site cleanly. Does Dodds go further? It feels like a death trap, but a reward. A big reward for Dodds. Back-to-back impact. CT is controlled. Finally, a little offset. But a 3v5 is not impossible, it's just improbable.
Very improbable. The one way, even making sure that that's even more difficult of a task. Yeah, it seems like G2, they just want to potentially do some damage here and hold on to their weapons. This operator is too damn expensive. I was worried there on the hit there, Lauren, for KRU, because they had to use too much utility to get into the site. Generally, when that drone comes out that early in the round, it is a good indicator, a good tell that that side of the map is weak side. So, for KRU, using that blind so early, especially when we've seen so many retake protocols coming out here for G2, that's something that KRU's going to want to keep in mind going into the next 3 rounds, is maybe having a skinnier hit so they can have some util in that post.
Yeah, bailed out by that really disruptive approach from Dodds to take that fight on CT. Because if that was a 5v5 retake, that's when you see that real pinch coming in from the lack of utility. When suddenly you're going, wait, G2 has everything still. Oh no. But as it stands, they're fine, right? They've broken the back of it. Maybe a little set piece call coming out from the coach there just to break the trend. Look at the pause. Look how it was running. It was very G2 favored at the start, really. You got that big chunk of rounds once we got into the buy. This has broken Visa Crew Blaze back into the game, right? An opportunity to build from this now, but consecutive rounds take a lot of work. And we've seen some very unique approaches from G2, maybe just to handle the ults. A little bit of info at the start there, but nothing massive. And it looks like a pretty standard approach. No massive attention towards long this time from Visa Crew Blaze, opting to try and build towards this B site here.
Yeah, that smoke that's placed down towards this long A here did cut off the line for Petra and for Rescue, so a little bit of nerves, maintaining that A, and now Mimi is under a lot of pressure.
The only one to really slip through is Dodds, however. The rest respecting the smoke, and the backfill is there. Mimi going to slip further forward, but doesn't land the shot. And Crew are cleaning up, controlling that B site. Dodds on patrol at the back as well, waiting for anyone to dare step through those smokes. Rescue, Petra, Amy. Again, these 3v5 post plants. This is getting very, very difficult. Look at the post plant setup as well. Super deep positioning, very prepared for it. Even Romy literally in spawn. Ooh. Dodds is allowing no step further. I think Petra and Rescue, I mean, it's time to back away. Keep that up. Maybe just hold for maybe an exit or two, but that's the best you're going to get here. Is the option now to start seeing G2 be more proactive? Christine, what's your solution to seeing this now?
That is, I mean, it's all about trying to counter Konier right now. Konier is calling incredibly well. We saw them pressuring down towards that A main for the last several rounds. In this round, a quick misdirect with that fast B pressure.
Ooh, they clean up.
One step ahead, and that's going to be huge. That is going to mean a lot. 2 rounds now we've seen G2 trying to hold on to their weapons. Their money should be not in the healthiest state. After one more round, Crew have a really good chance to finish off the half here strong, 7-5.
No, that little consecutive back-to-back 9th and 10th round is just wondrous for them. And in such clean fashion, night and day almost, it feels like. Getting into post plants in a 5v3, it's so, yeah, exactly, be happy about it. You're allowed to be. Those are really, really rewarding. Probably tactical time out here for G2, right? Pump the brakes. Now, if you've just been hit with a couple of rounds like that, I want, you know, Evil Genius Potter coming out here. You've had a couple of big site hits, right? You said it already that they're burning a lot of util early, but how do you keep yourself in a 5v5 rather than that 5v3? What's the plan here? Proactive, even more passive, where would you lean?
I don't think they need to be any more proactive. I think they just go back to what got them the first 5 rounds to begin with. It's that 3 strong A, leave Petra on her own, but start the round with 3 strong A, right? Okay. Send a statement in the beginning of the round and let the attackers know, hey, we're not going to give this up for free, and keep each other guessing, right? Where did the fighters go? Did they leave A yet, or are they still on that A site? Once they are able to do that, then Rescue can rotate real freely, be very extra mobile, and G2, their retakes have been incredible, so they don't have to be so quick to the trigger to rotate. So I think just starting 3A, and it looks like that's what they're gonna do.
It's wild, it's almost like you know what you're talking about. It's crazy. But now though, yeah, spot on. Looking like they want to kind of re-establish that control there. And as a response, Crew obviously gets to kind of paint the board how they want to as well. So a little bit of adjustment here is that C take. Now, we're going to wait and see how this looks. We haven't really seen a pure C hit in a minute. And it's been those splits through Garage, that kind of pacier approach. This is very telling. Vania, this is so audacious. Maybe a barrel spotted too. The wall goes, oh my god, it's gonna get weird. It's gonna get weird and messy. And Vania's gonna lose her life for it. Amy trying to hold the line but falls. And once again, an advantageous situation for Visa Crew Blaze. Plant is in, but this time it's the 3-pack coming back into play. Petra, Mimi, and Rescue. Can they be the ones to challenge this?
Look how quickly Crew are just slipping out of the site. They want to fully secure this post. And for G2, they still have to guess. They have to wonder where they are set up. Romy's got the timing of the sentry.
Oh, the around the world now does get spotted. Petra, I think, just looked back for a glance and spotted Romy, but that's a nuisance, that's a problem. They have to clear sight fast and the time is ticking. Crew have util, they've got positions down long. This is near on impossible here. Only a shock dart really to play with. I mean, maybe. Well, I'll keep my mouth shut. I'll keep my mouth shut. The ult is there if they need anything. Oh my god, Dodds and Romy. Take a deep breath. That got a little bit close. That got a little bit scary when it shouldn't get scary. My voice just went up 3 octaves. That's Ooh, it's all good. 3 in a row.
Oh,
no
good Lord.
sweat. You know, they're up around.
It was always Romy as that insurance plan with that B lurk. It did get dicey though, but Romy having that presence of mind, the awareness to slow down and just secure the round was everything. I mean, Mimi right there, she was in a pickle. She didn't know which way to ult, right? Because she always knew that the rat was flanking on the back lines, but once again, Konir, I've got to give her credit. She's calling so well right now. For the past 4 rounds, she's been 1 step ahead of G2.
My ult is ready.
Oh no!
Petra, that's the second time she's
That
been
is
caught out
greedy.
here, and it feels unnecessary. Again, we were praising their composure, but ResQ with a clean shot.
Equalizer.
Takes away Konir, and that's a smoke's gone. That's a pretty big pick to take, above a minute especially. Do they carry on this pathing towards A?
The push coming out here for Vania should give a lot of information here for G2 that most of the enemies will be here on this side of the map. And you can see Mimi responding, reinforcing, and look at that rolling thunder in the back pocket.
I know exactly where you are.
I mean, that ain't bad. But there's no real secrets about this. The trip gets broken, so there's going to be paranoia about a flank, but you can already see where Vanya's pathing towards. But Dodds last time got them out of danger with a quick 2 pick up through CT, and maybe history repeats. Rescue's gone down, and Dodds is being so imposing. Mimi invents the ult, but Dodds still wins out. G2 falling like flies as Vanya. Last one there, but last one to fall. Visa, Crew, Blaze turning back up here. You kind of thought maybe G2 had a grip on the game. Absolutely not. Those last 4 rounds made a world of difference to this side. Just looking back at these moments, Crew have to be over the moon with that half, so I am beyond impressed with what we saw. So do not go anywhere. We've got a little treat for you.
Oi, eu sou a Biazica, jogadora da V2 Gozen. Para primeiro jogo de estreia, né, acho que foi bom. A gente conseguiu fazer muitas coisas, mas acho que talvez o nervosismo, a ansiedade atrapalhou um pouco em alguns momentos. Mas foi porque foi a estreia. Acho que nos próximos já não vai ter mais essa pressão toda. Foi muito importante começar com a vitória, porque mostra que o nosso trabalho está sendo bem feito e que vai continuar a mesma confiança no resto do campeonato.
Zeta now, as the ARP repositions towards long this time, and we had that double set of showers again as well. Double face here! Oh my goodness!
Para ser campeão vai ter que ganhar de todo mundo, então para mim todo time é um time e o que for vir a gente vai jogar contra e vai amassar e acredito que vai ser um bom jogo, mas nada de surpresas eu acho. A gente é um time muito unido e a gente tem muito potencial individualmente, ninguém vê muito isso na gente, mas a gente tá ali comendo pelas beiradas e tá tudo certo, tamo junto.
She's honestly so nice.
Now focusing back on the game here, 5-7. Potter, this might be a little surprise to some people's eyes, right? You kind of, you put it in the hands of G2 overall, but this is a solid look from Visa Crew Blaze.
Solid for sure, and it's such a good thing for Dodds, especially on the side of Crew, to keep up that aggression and be able to convert 15 kills in that first half to start. And my goodness, in those posts, a lot of the times I was nervous for Crew, lacking that utility, but Dodds never slowed down, constantly pressing the issue, disrupting, and never allowing G2 to actually go through with those retake protocols that we kept complimenting in that first half. So huge for Crew, and I gotta see if Dodds is able to maintain this sort of form.
It's one thing to do it against Zeta, right? Still impressive. You're like, hey, okay, eyes on them. Let's see how well they do. It's a whole different kettle of fish to pull this off against G2. It takes a lot of respect and a lot of talent to be able to do it, but a 15-5?
Sheesh.
That's actually pretty nuts. Like, if we're going to compare it to ResQ, 7-8. Now, again, defending side for ResQ, so let's wait and see how that kind of evens out, but credit where credit is due. But it's only halfway into map 1. We have all the maps coming up. This was the choice of Visa Crew Blaze here as well. Fighting missile trap. Yeah, take that one back. Shock darts, not allowed them. But a very, I guess, bullish start towards that C site. Already going to have that eye down towards long. Not willing to challenge it, but I like this approach in middle. Look at this push down mid, but surely the cam being removed puts them on red alert, right?
Yeah, but they instantly broke it, and you're right. They're gonna have to burn a drone here all the way on G2's side of the map to even get hardly any information. Rescue, though, is able to use that distraction to try to gain space, and
Wow, my eyes are
interesting
down.
camera coming out here for KRU.
Yeah, this has been a real push and pull so far. G2 didn't like what they were seeing in middle, rightly so, and they went,
Oh,
"Oh,
no,
no, gotta
that-
go see."
That delayed plant might ruin G2 here.
See if it costs them. 3 down towards long. The paranoia is really so.
Good start!
That was so damn good. Mimi is going to be so furious, but Petra digging in on this round, but it's all down to Vania. Visa Crew Blaze pick up where they left off. 3 alive, showing they can pull off these retakes just as well.
You give KRU an inch and they're gonna take a mile. I don't know what happened there to delay the plant, but in this day and age, with all the floods that the defenders are depending on, those few milliseconds that they lost not planting cost them everything in this pistol.
Oh, that reveal was so nice on the site. Just, again, starting off so well, right? Removing Mimi away instantly takes away so much, and maybe that post-plant utility they could have depended on a little bit. Frustration on the coaches' faces too. I don't blame them. This is not how you'd want to start here. This is stage debut, really, for G2 in this tournament. They've been waiting, watching the other teams. And now, they've got a real opponent. Visa Crew Blaze kick things off in the second half with the first round. Already Outlaw on deck. I mean, we've got clean classic, so it's not really the end of the world. We'll see what they approach with here. A plant a kill or two would be delightful, but you're going to have to temper your expectations.
G2 did get past the dart, but it don't matter. Dodds is just gonna farm with that Guardian.
That's an ult nearby early too. That's what scares me. Seeing a Neon ult nice and early. Woo!
Amy is able to collect the Guardian, and damage is the name of the game in this round now. Everything has shifted.
I have to the spike.
And Amy, early on in that first half, was such a fantastic anchor.
She's still leading the board as well for G2 overall, so...
I saw it.
Yeah,
I saw it
for a second there. So that is going to happen. Okay, Mimi, aim training. Just a little bit. A little warm-up. Good stuff from Visa Crew Blaze. You'll take that, I guess, 2 players going down, but especially with Dodds working towards that ult, that's got to be right knocking on the door. I want to see how close she is already. Yeah, 1 off. That's scary going into that first buy round as well. If she gets 1 kill or the ult orb, I wouldn't like that if I was G2.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of armor, what the money is on G2's side. Thankfully, they're able to get all 4 armor on the board for themselves. That should give them a little breathing room into this one, but... Dodds, okay, so she's just gonna go, they're gonna force the orb here, Lauren.
Yep.
She's got a frenzy on her back, no gun.
How do they want to do it?
Oh, the greed!
She didn't get it in the end either. This is going to get so dangerous now, but look at Rescue. Get sent away on 10 HP. They go, I mean, G2 might then just pivot quickly, noting there were so many players towards A to try and facilitate that pickup of the ult orb.
Cage triggered.
Yeah, G2 have. They've just flooded towards B. That's fine. Ult is there for Dodds, though. So now we're going to feel uncomfortable because they know they're going to take space over towards A long, as we're witnessing KRU now flooding towards that back line.
Yeah, and all 4 members, they are so grouped together. G2 wondering if they should retake into this garage or not. They don't know yet how many members are behind them.
Yeah, this is going to be so awkward, and already you can see the Suns exchange. It's roaming to draw blood. Mimi's gone down, but the time is ticking. G2 side, but Dodds now takes only 1. Petra, 7 HP and a bit of a dream here in a 2v2. This was never meant to be this close. But Visa Crew Blaze never down and never out, but Amy asked a big question that she has the answer to with the Red Bull clutch. But that was a bonus. And they barely make it out alive.
They barely make it out alive. And if Petra doesn't get that second kill on that Omen flank, this round is wrapped 100%. So Petra just barely saving G2 there. And that was a good response from G2 as well. Quickly pivoting, finding the gap towards that front B, but KRU quick on their toes with that flank. And man, Dawes is just so explosive. She was
20 kills
from the start of that round as well. Those slides, my goodness.
Straight into it. Okay, Hunter's Fury gonna be popped. Tagged. And the kill. Petra seems good for those today. Biazik is gonna go down, which is a little bit of problem. Does Rescue then feel prompted to take the space? Because already Vania backfilling, sitting in towards
trade.
Quad, trying to sit towards the side. G2 starting to sweep here. This is where my eyes go towards Dodds. Do we have some mad impact? I don't know how much Romy can really play her in off this, but let's see what Dodds can bring. Look like just a real set piece from G2, headstrong in towards that A site. But Dodds is deadly. 20 kills. Looking for someone who dare challenge. And yeah, okay, Rescue sharp with it there. So this is where the threat really starts to be mitigated. Romy can try and make a go of it, but the options are pretty much gone at this point.
Pretty much gone. There was a slight chance. I think that wall actually cut Romy's line, unfortunately, but what a hit coming out here for G2, and it all off the back of that Hunter's Fury to start. I think in the beginning of the round, KRU should have had a pretty good idea that that ult was on the board, and watch out for that dart. That dart pinging was just not it. You've got to be able to anticipate a quick opening like that when you see the ult on the board. So KRU, they need to talk about this dart pinging, have someone on that dart duty so they can sustain these openings coming out here from G2.
Yeah, no, it'd be good to see a little bit more heads-up work around that, because again, you can see the impact that losing just those 2 rounds to back of these three Blazes, they're going to be down on a very light purchase. It's going to be kind of a half buy, I guess. You could have maybe a hero rifle. It looks like they may opt for it. But beyond that, it is going to be Sheriffs, it's Buckies, it's a little rough around the edges. Now, we've been singing, Dodds' praise, absolutely. These little setups, man. What the hell? I need some of these. So there is at least a ult on deck that could be utilized if given the opportunity.
Yeah, and it's my favorite ult on the defense on this map, Lauren. We're looking straight at Michaela and Biazik this round. That combo with the fault line coming through, based on one of your anchor's contact, this flood that the side of KRU can create for themselves will be very chaotic for the side of G2.
I love how deep the setup is as well from the side. Well, I guess it's Romy really. They would have allowed so much for G2 to get up, but they're not really going for it. G2 have shown all that presence, and then I don't know if they're just calling an audible or something, but whatever they saw they didn't like. They're taking the tour elsewhere.
Being extra cautious, extra thorough. When Biazik being on this long line might make it tough to make that combo come through. Biazik is going to have to react extremely fast. As soon as she spots on the line.
Has the ult still. Good sit back.
Oh, she's not going to do it.
Now that's surely dead. I mean, maybe trapped, though. Biazik still hits that. Takes away Rescue and they're held at the door with 30 seconds. G2 might have to scramble. The over-rotation from Visa KRU Blaze actually works out.
And this makes it so much more difficult for G2. 20 seconds left on the clock.
Hunter's Fury.
That's so early.
Dodds still evades it. Yeah, they're going to find Amy on this one. This is still going to pieces. G2 looking like they're in danger because of Dodds is holding the door and no one's coming through. Vania dead, Petra dead. And Mimi joins them in their grave. Visa KRU Blaze are dangerous.
Dangerous indeed, and that's a round that they have to be able to win. It was off a broken buy as well, but it's so OP when you've got that fault line and Hunter's Fury combo. You even saw G2, they weren't willing to go too deep down that long C line. They didn't want to get caught off on that choke point. And beautiful for KRU to be able to take advantage of what they had. The Bucky is just too clean.
There's something about it.
The Neon Bucky combo.
Do you think Neon should be nerfed? Are you part of the game? I'm curious.
That's a conversation for a different day, I think.
That's fine. That's fine. You keep.
I'm gonna say no.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
Twitter's furious with you.
We need our superstars. Let them have fun.
You know, write a clip in that internally. We love Christine. She's on our side. Now, G2 have decided to slow things down, right? Take a time out because this is now getting out of control. Losing that 17th round is going to sting. That, you know, they showed presence on C, the rotation towards A, but I mean, these KRU Blaze were almost ahead of it, right? They had already hit that rotation there, tucked the player in towards the corner. I thought it was a bit of a mistake to re-sit into that little cubby, but somehow Biazik just hits the shot anyway because why not? And it all goes terribly wrong, so it's a bit of a tilter. But 10-7, Visa KRU Blaze are firmly in control here.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of those, if I'm gonna go down, I'm taking you down with me type of last second. Yeah, like sheriff kills. And it's amazing to see these players stepping up when it matters most under the highest amount of pressure. That was good.
Thanks. I've been working on it.
Scanning ahead.
Quick little standard approach. Get it. You got the die in the end. It's all good. Stun makes it tricky. But G2, like, my copium is at all-time high. The readdress down sewers, we haven't seen them clear this deep so far. This could be a new problem for G2 to try and figure out.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna peek this dry with the 3-2-1 and keep going all the way up, or if they're just gonna hold the line. It looks like Biazik is getting curious. Taken out for her curiosity. Mimi just maintaining the perimeter. And you can see immediately for G2, they're reacting. They want to regroup, try to hit a site together while they have this man advantage.
And it's slow and steady, it looks like, for G2. You check on Michaela, right?
I know
surely.
exactly where.
Oh, well, there we are. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The Fedora gets invested and all has gone wrong. So away we go. G2 start clearing in, but it's looking a rescue.
Everyone from KRU is here.
They are all on site, and Dodds has made it there. Kinnear as well. Kinnear now turns eyes towards the back of the site. KRU, right place, right time again. These are KRU Blaze. Seem to have G2 read to a T.
That was such good movement coming out here from the defenses of KRU. You know, we talked about G2 maintaining, not moving, trusting their perimeter, but KRU, they always had to take a gamble in that round. Being a person down, they needed to overstack. And we've been talking about Kinnear calling all game long in that first half on the attack side. It's pulling through strong for them, coming onto the defense as well. Somebody in this mid-round is making some impactful calls on the KRU side.
This is an unforgiving game. Sheriff's now out for G2, held at 7. Visa KRU Blaze taking strides through this now. Confidence surely booming.
Right there.
They're so proactive. They just walked 4 down long.
They're just rushing, Lauren. They're not even gonna stop. This is such a fast flank.
And most people would fear to face G2. It looks like KRU come in with their heads held high.
They're flipping the map.
Fear, and they are indeed. Romy has to respect this and back away too much util to not do it. But it's a push through as well from G2. What? Romy, you're outrageous! No way, Romy! How are you getting away with daylight robbery? KRU, they are unreal. Unreal. I'm a fan. Give me a shirt. I'm all aboard.
Oh my goodness. G2 reacted very well there as well. They quickly flipped the map, pushed the issue down spawn, but that breach ult actually ended up helping Romy escape, pushing her deeper into that spawn line. And as that fault line is going off of her screen, that's when she's activated. Incredible stuff, and it was all about that fast flank, right? KRU never slowed down. Dodds was quick on G2's heels, applying that pressure.
It's only map 1. This is Visa KRU Blaze's choice, but this tees us up for what looks like a best of 3, right? We're going third map here, potentially. I mean,
hopefully.
Maybe, hold on, Dodds. Look at this, just exuding confidence.
Slow down.
Apparently trips don't even matter at this point. Just still going. Amy's like, are you sure you wanted to do that? I mean, that's a pick. You take those, right? That's the first time.
Next time we're gonna draw up a shock dart to take care of that trip, and then it'll be beautiful.
That'd be nice. We'd like that.
Unfortunate for KRU, 2 members already going down. A clever start for that set piece, but G2 able to punish. And look at this double push coming out here for KRU. This is the second time now, pushing all the way through A main.
I mean, look where Dodds and Michaela both went down. You surely don't expect more aggression, but then Visa KRU Blaze absolutely keep going. But it's down to 2, right? Romy and Biazika. Now, Biazika did clear that back line, so they know there's no one in the cubby, there's on towards long. Romy had to at least get one there, I feel, to make it doable. Now this should be a formality, but I've been wrong in the past, I'll be wrong again, I don't mind. Vania, gonna take a little bit of chip from that.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's another one too. Okay. Still got a dart as well. Biazika, calm down here. Stun's invested. They know that where at least one of these players is and saw the breach stun. Biazika can paint a picture, and a good one too, but time is ticking. She's got to get a move on. Spots the shoulder, but the shoulder's not enough. It's fine, all good. All good. It's totally fine. It was not fine.
Incredible utility coming out here for Biazika. I mean, she even had an opportunity to tee up Romy there, right? That was a 2v4 that they made look that close in the round. Again, great response for G2. That was again a double push coming out for defense, just pushing down that A main. G2 have been kind of getting pushed and corralled on their attack side. They are not the ones that's controlling the pace and dictating where they want to go. It's been a bit reactionary in this second half.
Yeah, fast speed just off of the dart. It looks like Rescue going to go in from that. But the response is there, and KRU are there. Just sheer and utter resilience. Dots again. The name up in lights. Visa, KRU, Blaze are absolutely the real deal. 13-8, Christine.
I cannot believe that, Lauren. The way that they just annihilated in this last round. I was still thinking in my head how G2 are going to actually make this comeback happen because these rounds have been so close. But KRU making a statement in that last round. So damn decisive.
Map 2 coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings.